I'm going to review all the little issues you have with using these resharpened blades. What is the maximum height this carriage on this LX50 will cut? Stay with me till the end for the review of the sharpened blades, the large logs cutting max of the LX50, the amount of boards I cut, and the sizing and cutting of cans. Well, good evening. I'm up here at camp finally. I got my little gator here running and back up here so I can run back and forth with it. Now I am going to start some milling probably tomorrow morning. I'm going to start setting some things up. I'm going to change some the blade on it. Now last time when I was cutting, I noticed it wasn't quite cutting as good. I cut quite a few logs with it. I probably start needing to keep count. It was a new blade, so it cut well to begin with. Then it seemed like it was slowing down. I think it needs sharpened. There's pros and cons about using sharpened blades, and I'm going to go over some of them today. Well, as I was saying, anybody out there has any good advice on when to change these blades, let me know. It didn't feel like it was cutting like it should last time. I think I cut about 3 trees with it, and they were fairly large trees. So I'm going to go ahead and change this. This was a brand new blade. I probably owe the person that sharpened my blades an apology, because the last time a blade that I had sharpened was cutting wavy. It was definitely a bad blade. But then I don't know, about 3-4 weeks ago, you seen a video with me putting up some board and batten and siding. Well, we found a nail on one of those boards. We could see where it had cut through a nail. Now all it takes is a little nail. These trees, I didn't expect any nails. They were quite a ways up, but somebody could have had a no trespassing sign in there or something. But it was obviously something metal, and it probably ruined the blade. So I'm have 2 more blades yet that have been sharpened. I'm going to try those ones out. I'm cutting up hemlock, which is fairly soft, so it's a good time to check it now. I've had some mice or field mice or something trying to build nests in here. I had to take that out. So before you start these up, you might want to watch it. I'd see I'm getting some of these little sticks out of here from them trying to build a home up inside here, and I don't blame them. Nice and dry. I'm going to take this blade off. I'm going to review all the little issues you have with using these resharpened blades, and what I have found to correct those little issues. And by no means am I an expert, so if somebody has some advice, please give it to me. To start with, this blade is the first one I've had for a while that went bad that I'm going to need sharpened. So I'm going to label it with a tag that says need sharpened so I don't forget which blade. I've done that before, forgot which blades needed to be sharpened and which ones were already sharpened. And I am going to, these are the cheap ones. I'm going to start buying the middle class that will also do hardwood, because I think that will be more efficient, because I am going to be doing some hardwood soon. This here is the sharpened one, and this one I'm going to tag it. It needs sharpened, and then if I take out any more, I will add them to that group there. As you see, these blades are easy to change. This was already loosened up because when I put it away last time, I had everything loose. I guess rule number 1 with problems using these sharpened blades is, unless you have somebody you know and you got to build a rapport with them to know that they're good at sharpening, you make sure you label or know which ones need sharpened and which ones do not. See, here's some little rocks in here. See the dirt? And I don't know whether you can see the little rocks. Those will tear up a new blade. So that's why you make sure the dirt is off of them before you actually saw. After installing a new blade, I like to go ahead and make sure it's tracking okay. So I will tighten the blade up, look at it, spin it around to make sure it stays where it's supposed to be, and I do not need to adjust the wheels any. Now I'm getting my lubricant ready, and it's just water and a little bit of Dawn. Now this was my first challenge on this log. It's a big log. I don't think I can go any bigger on this machine. But I was trying to move it up, my carriage up, and it only go up to 19.5, and it got extremely tight. I certainly didn't want to reef on it and stretch the cables or anything like that, so I went down and up a couple times. Then I checked to make sure there was nothing in the guides or anything that would stop it. There wasn't, so it will only go up about 19.5 inches on the rail to cut with, so you can't go too much bigger than a 21 inch on this. Well, here I'm trying out a viewer's comments that told me if you put some pipe on the stops, it will help you turn it over, or at least make it slide down a little easier. Now, I did get it down, but obviously my technique needs some refining because it didn't work all that well for me. Now, my purpose for cutting up this log, or what I intended to do with it, was get as many 2x4s, etc., at least 2x out of it that I can. I may want some 2x10s and stuff like that. But I don't know why I had such a hard time trying to get the cant down to where I wanted it. It probably is because I had such a hard time moving this one around. Makes you wonder why I had such a hard time rolling this log over now with both the 180 degrees cut made. Maybe it's the way the log is balanced, or the distribution of weight, or whatever it was. I just couldn't get it going over, and I had such a hard time over, I kind of stopped once and looked at it, and then I tried again. Then after that, I kind of just gave up, and you can always cut another piece off, I guess. After cutting a 2-inch slab on it, I tried it again, and I don't know what it is. Maybe it was just a bad day. Didn't have it in me. I couldn't get the right grip on it. Whatever it was, I was just having a hard time getting this one over. So I decided to cut another 2-inch slab off. After cutting another 2-inch slab off of it, I was able to get it up in position so I can go ahead and adjust the pith. Now once the piths are adjusted, it's very important to square it up. I'm using my square to get it square, and that way I know the cut is square to both the side cuts. And here it checked out square just as I hoped and just as it should be. The bottom square, I'm trying to get even numbers on here so I can cut 2x, so I'm not quite sure what I want on this one here yet. Now that I got a cant, I got to get serious with the measurements here. And as you see, this is a 9x14 cant. The pith is off-centered, so I got to try to get my 6x6 centered up on the pith. Okay, here I'm making a 2-inch cut. This will make this a 9x12 cant. And there is some wane on the one side, so I'll have to cut that down. Now that I have it at 9x12, I want to get that 1 inch off and make it an 8x12. That way I can start ripping some boards out of it. So I flipped it over and I laid it down there, and I'm going to cut to make it a 8x12 cant. Now I'm going to turn the log, so when I cut, I'm cutting towards the pith. I still want to keep the pith in the middle on the 6x6. Now with this 8x12 cant, I'm going to rip out some 2x8s and just rip them on down towards the cant. Now that it's an 8x8 cant, I'm going to take another 2 inches off the left side to get it a little bit closer to the pith and give me another 2x8. Now I'm at a 6x8 cant. I'm going to flip it over and cut a 2x6 off the top, and then that'll leave me with the 6x6. Okay, now I'm taking my 2x6 to use as a backing board, and I am going to put 4 2x8s up there, and I'm going to rip them right at the 4-inch to make 2x4s. I'll double them up. This is the easiest and the quickest way to take care of it. Well, now it's time to cut my flitches. I do have a little more than I usually do due to the weight of the log. I couldn't turn it over, so I actually took those 2-inch boards off to make it a little bit lighter so I can flip it. But continue to watch so you can see what I ended up with, and also a review of the pros and cons of having your blade sharpened, and I'll continue with some flitching techniques. Now, as I continue on with these flitches, you'll see I try to stand this board up. It's a high board. And you know what? Even though it's 2-inch, it doesn't want to sit straight. So you're better off using a bigger backing board. So what I do is I put the 6x6 that I cut earlier back up there. And that gives me a lot more of a stable base to clamp that to. I'm going to wrap everything up for today. I have other work I can be doing, but I wanted to get this log on. Now, this was a 20-inch diameter log. I mean, they say this will cut up to like a 26. I really couldn't have went any bigger than what 20-inch. 20-inch was about the max size I could go. It was starting to hit the edges. It was pretty heavy for me to move around, but I did get a lot of lumber out of it. My primary concerns was 2x4s, but I need another 6x6. I'm gonna have to make another stand for drying here soon. But I got here one 6x6, two 2x10s by 8s, 3 2x6s, and 11 2x4s by 8. That's not a bad haul. I mean, I can always cut these down, but I didn't want to waste it. I would have had 2 inches there, and what do you do with a 2x2? So I just left them 6 for now. I can use them, I can cut them down, I can do what I want to. These 2x10s, I'm thinking I'm going to need to make new stairs, so I'm going to need some 2x10s anyhow, so I went ahead and cut them. Now there's a couple 1x's I cut. This one is a 1x8, and this other one is a little bit bigger than I normally cut, but it was cut. It's a 1x12. I'm just going to leave it be. And then I had a 1x2. Now, the sharpened blade seemed to cut okay. I didn't have any problems with it. I checked it a few times, looked for waves. Everything stayed straight and true, so I'm pretty satisfied with it. Like I said, that's the bad thing about having your blade sharpened. You don't always know whether it's sharpened right or not. I guess you have to cut. Once the guy that sharpens them for me, I get 4 or 5 good ones, a reputation with him, I'm not gonna worry too much about it. But this one sharpened good. I mean, it was sharpened well, it cut well. And so, I'll keep on getting them to sharpen them. Like I said, I owe an apology the last time I hit something hard, something metal, and I didn't notice it until I actually started putting it up on board and batten, and then I was cutting it and I seen a shiny thing in it. I looked and I seen it. It was something metal, probably a nail or something. The other disadvantages of having those is you've got to keep them separate. You got to know which ones have been sharpened and which ones need to be sharpened. So you're better off doing it like I do, maybe tag it and mark it. The benefits is cheaper. It only cost me $10 to get it sharpened, where it cost me $25 for a new one. So I guess there's a little bit of a give there. I wish it was cheaper than 10, but it's not. So I'm going to have to go with that. That seems to be about the going price. I'm not even going to attempt to try to sharpen them myself. It's just I don't have the patience or the time. I'm getting older. There's no sense in me trying to learn that right now, because it just take me too long, too many miscues. I can't afford miscues right now. The other thing you've seen me having troubles with is lifting. This heavy log was heavy. There's a lot of water in that log. I didn't take a moisture reading, but I might later. But it was heavy. I struggled sometimes to roll it up. You've seen I kept on cutting it down instead of rolling it, because I couldn't get enough strength to flip it over. So I suppose at some point I may have to bring a tractor down. I suppose I could like tie a rope onto it and flip it over with a tractor. I don't get too many big logs like that. I mean, the next ones are a little smaller. That one there is pretty big. The next one, it's going to be that was 20-inch on the small end too, so it was probably bigger on the bigger end. This one here is 19 on the small end. So the next one I'm going to cut is 19 on the small end and 21 on the big end. So it's going to be hard to. It's going to be heavy. It's going to be hard to flip over and stuff like that. But I guess we got her done, and that's what's important. But I'm glad to be milling again. It's been a long time since I milled. It seems like a long time. You know, I had some help putting up the board and batten, and so you can't turn down help or anything like that. So I got everything I needed for the board and batten milled. So now we're going to start milling for some other projects where I need some 2x4s. So once again, I mean, I appreciate your time. I really do. I like comments. So if you have any comments on things that make it easier, except probably flipping it over with a tractor, probably would have been a lot easier, a lot less struggle for me. I didn't seem to hit any rocks. At least I don't think I heard any hits. So I think I did pretty good on getting the bark off that was contaminated with rocks. But I want to thank you for viewing. I want to thank you for your time. If you can, please help an old man out and subscribe and like and ring that bell so you see them all, so you don't miss any. And another thing, make sure you share if you can. I mean, I'm sure you have friends that may like to view this, so share it with them and help my channel grow. I would appreciate it. So once again, this is the old man with the plan, and I'll see you later.